If you have a tendency to hold your breath when you're playing tennis, then I want to help you with that in this video, because it's highly likely that you've watched another video or you've worked with a coach in person where they've told you to focus on your breathing as you're playing. And what you've also probably found out is that it didn't work very well. You're still holding your breath when you play. So in this video, I want to explain why that is. I want to explain why it's probably not the best plan to focus on breathing when you're playing. And I want to give you some things that you can work on instead, which are going to make a really big difference. So hopefully you find the video helpful. If you do, it'd be awesome if you give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, much appreciated if you could do that as well. So let's start by answering the question of why you shouldn't focus on your breathing when you're playing. And what this one comes down to is tennis is really hard. There's so many different things that you need to focus on, and you've only got so much bandwidth. So you need to focus on whatever technical element is limiting you at the moment. That might be trying to time your split step so that you can react and prepare sooner. It might be focusing on your spacing. It might be focusing on some specific aspect of your technique, but you need all your focus and mental energy going towards fixing that. There won't be any bandwidth left over to think about breathing, and there shouldn't have to be, because you've been breathing 22 to 25,000 times a day every single day since you were born, and you won't need to think about breathing to continue doing that. You've obviously been playing tennis for however long without collapsing on court, so lack of breathing isn't necessarily something you should be focusing on. Now, what you're doing might not be optimal, and at the end of the video I'm going to make some recommendations and give you some breathing exercises to work on to help with your breathing, but in my opinion you definitely shouldn't be focusing on it when you're playing. What you should focus on doing, or what you will need to do, is address the underlying reason, the underlying cause of why you're holding your breath in the first place, because breath holding is a stress response. Humans breathe in and tense when they're stressed. So what you know, because you hold your breath when you play, is your body is being stressed out by tennis. And as I've already said, tennis is difficult. It's difficult consciously because of all the different technical elements that we have to think about, but it's also difficult unconsciously. And this is the really important part. Now, we think that tennis is really important. I think it's very important, but our brains, our old brains, the parts of our brains that evolved a long time ago, don't care as much about tennis as we do consciously. All they care about is staying alive and staying safe. And when you play tennis, it can be very challenging. There is a lot of visual stress. Our visual system basically takes up more different parts of the brain than anything else. So if your visual system doesn't work well enough, and most people's visual systems don't work well enough because we spend our whole time looking at screens, and then we step out on court and the ball's flying at us, that's very stressful visually. A lot of players also don't have high degrees of balance. And again, the movement requirements in tennis while you're watching the ball coming towards you and doing all this stuff is very challenging on the balance system. And when I assess players, most players don't have very good balance. So that's really stressful. And then there's the movement side of things. The movement required in tennis, both in terms of strength and flexibility and coordination, is extremely challenging. And if your body doesn't move well because you spend a lot of time sitting down, working at a desk, or just not preparing your body properly, and then you go out and try and play tennis, your brain's pretty smart. It knows that that is a problem. You're trying to play this crazily intense sport and it doesn't have the physical capabilities, so it gets stressed out because it wants to protect you. So if you want to be able to breathe naturally, you want to be able to relax when you play, because that's what it's all about. Your coach is trying to get you to relax by telling you to focus on breathing, but it doesn't work because it doesn't fix the underlying problems that I've just mentioned. So if you do want to be able to breathe naturally when you play and be more relaxed when you play, you have to reduce the reasons your body's being stressed out, which generally means improving your movement, training and improving your vision, and training and improving your balance. And that's something that I would like to help you to do, and I want to help you to do it for free. I've got a workshop coming up. This is a free live event where I'm going to teach you how you can use brain-based training to improve your hand-to-eye coordination, to improve your balance, so that tennis is way less stressful, and so then you can be much more relaxed when you play. So if you're interested in that, I'll place a link to it down in the description. Click on that link, it'll take you over to a different page where you can learn more about it and register. And what I want to do now is teach you a breathing exercise, because although I don't recommend focusing on breathing when you're playing, because there's other things that I believe you should be thinking about and you should be trying to fix the underlying problems in the way that I've just described, training and working on your breathing is a very important thing for every single tennis player to do, because when we breathe, it helps to activate our rest and digest system. Most people are very stressed in their daily lives, and then they step on court and they're really stressed. So focusing on your breathing can help your body to be more relaxed overall, and it can make your breathing more efficient, which is then going to be beneficial in multiple areas of your life, including when you're playing tennis. And the good news is, breathing is really easy to train, and you can do it anywhere. You can do it when you're driving to work, you can do it driving from work, you can do it during breaks at work, you can often do it sitting at your desk or wherever you happen to be working, you can do it while you're watching TV at night, you can do it while you're walking, you can do it while you're walking your dog. It's a very easy thing to train, and I highly recommend doing it. And what we're going to be doing is focusing on a long exhalation-based breath. So you're going to breathe in through your nose, you're going to purse your lips to create a bit of pressure, and you're going to blow out through your mouth. And it's really important that you do that. Breathe in through the nose, purse the lips, and blow out through the mouth. And by creating that pressure in the lips, as you blow out, you should feel your abs and your obliques tense just a little bit. And what we want to do here is we want to exhale for at least twice as long as it took to inhale. So if I inhale for 2 seconds, I'm then going to exhale for at least twice as long, so 4 or more seconds. If I was to inhale for 3 seconds, I would try and exhale for 6 or more seconds. But the longer you can spend exhaling, the better, because that long exhalation focus helps to stimulate our relaxation system, our parasympathetic system, something called our vagal nerve. So that's the basics of the breathing, but we can definitely improve on the quality of the breathing, because when we breathe in, we can also try and breathe in 3-dimensionally. So you want to have a neutral pelvis. So you don't want to let your back arch too much, because a lot of people overextend when they breathe and they get into really bad breathing patterns. You want to have a neutral pelvis, and then you want to try and breathe in 3-dimensionally. So you're expanding that way and you're expanding that way. And then when I exhale, I want to think about my ribs moving downwards and inwards. And if you can do those 2 things together, so inhale through the nose, 3-dimensional expansion, exhaling through the mouth with pursed lips, ribs moving down and in, that is going to be a really fantastic breathing exercise. And like I said, the more you do this, the better. 5 minutes a day, amazing. 10 minutes a day, even more amazing. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The more you do, generally, the better for most people. So just find different ways to squeeze it in, and it's going to really help you out. It's going to start to train your breathing, and especially if you combine this with training your vision, your balance, and your coordination to kind of address the underlying reasons why your body's stressed out by the demands of tennis, that's the best way to go. Okay, so just a quick reminder about that workshop that I've got coming up. The link will be in the description if you would like to learn more about it and register. If you have any questions on breathing in tennis or anything that I've discussed here, obviously leave me a comments in the comment section, and I'll try and get back to you as quick as I can. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.